The 9-3 Colorado Buffaloes, ranked 23rd in the country, take on BYU, who is coming to this game 10-2, ranked 17th in the country. Both teams just missing out on the college football playoffs. There is so much on the line right now. I know it's just a bowl game. We got the Alamo Bowl, but it is so much more than that, and we're here to cover it. Last game of the season. I'm excited. Welcome to Buffs Banter,
your source for Colorado football. Let's
go
Buffs!
Welcome in, everybody, to Buffs Banter, presented by Believe Network. My name is Dean Frank. I'm here with my co-host, Oscar Gonzalez-Moore. Hey, Oscar, how are we feeling?
Yeah, it's the holiday season, man, and Coach Prime blessed us with one more game in the Shedeur, Travis Hunter era, which is going to be so epic. And as far as I'm concerned, both Colorado and BYU are not sitting anyone, along with Dion getting the insurance for the team, which is great. We can touch on that later. I think that incentivizes players to play even more, and this just shows how much culture is part of a team. You know, Dan Campbell is literally the culture of the Lions. Like, Deion Sanders is creating this culture in Colorado, which we love to see. Julian Lewis is out there, getting reps in with the ones, getting some advice from Travis and Shedeur. It's going to be a big day. And I think the most exciting thing about this is these are two teams that could have been in the college football playoffs. You know, at one point we thought these teams were going to be competing for the Big 12 championship. And if it wasn't for Kansas and everything they did, then chances are, you know, that would have been what would have happened. And, you know, BYU hadn't lost those two late games. There's a chance that they may have snuck in there, even losing the Big 12 championship to Colorado. So I think this is going to be the most watched college football bowl game by far. Might even beat some of the college football playoff games we got going on. I mean, like, nobody wants to watch Boise State get pounded by Penn State, right? Like, fade Ashton Genty. Anyways, no, I think it's
proud
to
watch.
Exactly. I think it's going to be a great game. There's so many different things we can touch about, but those are just some initial takes from myself.
Yeah, man, I think we should definitely focus on BYU just for a little bit before we, kind of talk about the last game of the Coach Prime era, because, what a journey it's been coming from 2 years ago, just being 1-11, now 9-3, talking about this bowl game. And, this was a game that Coach Prime had promised, since his first day at the press conference, to Miss Peggy, who is 100 and was just flown out to San Antonio, Texas to watch the Buffs play. Like, there's just so much at stake. And, with obviously being a Heisman, Travis coming off the game and all his, behind the scenes stuff going on, I think he's going to have a huge game, but we'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, BYU, I mean, they were, at one point 8-0. They were a top 10 ranked team in the league. People thought they were going to be the team coming out of the Big 12. And I guess they lose 2 games late into the season. I don't know if we want to say they are kind of, on the downfall, but they might just not be who we thought they should have been. I mean, at the start of the season, both of these teams, Colorado and BYU, were not, looked upon as a top team in the country. So it is cool to see, both of these teams kind of really just fighting for third place in the Big 12. I know with the Alamo Bowl and all that set up, we as Boulder fans and, the Buffs are kind of looked as a legacy Pac-12 team. So going into the future, we probably would not see a in-conference type of bowl game, because that is pretty rare. But, being in Alamo, like, this is a bowl game that the Buffs have played in before. We've lost a couple of times, I believe. So I think this is just a huge momentum shift going forward for, the next couple of seasons, with Coach Prime being here and Julian Lewis taking over. And this is a big momentum shift. I mean, we've seen teams such as Florida State, like last year. I mean, they were undefeated, and there was so much talked about them being into the college football playoffs, ended up not making it. Nobody ended up playing in that bowl game, and they got cooked this whole season. So I think the bowl game is definitely a big momentum shift, and I think it's great that Coach Prime is incentivizing the guys to play and making it means something. I think it's a good thing that we're taking a step forward in college football, and I think Coach Prime and the Buffs are definitely leaders in this. And I love what you said. I mean, dude, people love to watch Colorado football, whether you're hating on them or you're a fan. Like, it is just entertaining football. So I could definitely see us being at the top of these college football, just watching watching viewers, because there's so much on the line, and it's going to be an even better game because BYU is, I mean, I wouldn't call them frauds just because they are as balanced as it gets. I mean, looking at some stats real quick, shout out PFF again, the boys, but we are pretty similar with scoring offense and scoring defense. So Colorado, we score about 34 points per game and we let up 22 points, while BYU scores just about 31 points and lets up 20. So I think we can talk a little bit specifically about, the position battles and what to look out for, where maybe we have a better chance at winning and where we should focus on. But in the meantime, like, it is going to be a balanced game. I think it's going to be a dogfight, and it's going to just come out to who wants it more. And, if this is the team we believe in, the journey Colorado has been, like, I don't see a way we end up losing this game, to be honest.
I'm 100% there with you. I think the impact of this bowl game is going to speak levels to the future of both programs, So far, Colorado has honestly just been killing it in the transfer portal. We've had some big names, whether that's in the transfer portal or high school seniors ready to commit to Colorado. But there's no rush. Like, spots are not going to fill up, especially like this early. You see people making last minute decisions, and I think this bowl game is going to be a big indicator for a lot of people that are on the fence. Do I go to an SEC school that has been more trusted and has garnered more respect over the years, or do I ride this coat whale of Colorado, the Coach Prime era? Like, is this the real deal? And I think this is going to be a really telling tale of Coach Prime and the culture that Colorado brings to the table. Now, you're right. I do think BYU isn't fraudulent, but man, they can be exposed.
Sure.
Like, losing those last two games, they had everything. You know what I mean? Colorado, you could make the argument, we controlled our own destiny at one point. That being said, it was tough. Like, that Kansas team was smoking hot, probably the best team not to make a bowl game in the whole college football playoffs. In college football, excuse me. They beat 3 ranked teams in a row, which had never been done in college football. That being said, like, watching that BYU Houston game, I knew Houston wasn't going to win that. And for those of you that don't know, if Houston had won that game, Colorado would have went to the Big 12 championship. But it was painful because BYU looked so bad that game, man. They were fumbling the ball left and right, could not pick up a punt return, like Houston just kept getting the ball but could not score, which was super frustrating. But yeah, I think Jake Redslaw, he most improved quarterback versus Shedeur, who keeps proclaiming stuff or hinting that he's going to be the number 1 pick, is going to be an epic battle. And I think this is a bigger game for Shedeur than people think. I think Shedeur knows what this means, or he would not be talking that way. But man, it's definitely going to impact his draft, where he gets drafted to, what position he gets drafted at, if he's talking this talk and doesn't back it up. You know what I mean? I think he is the consensus number 1 pick right now, but let's just say he's like, you see these hints on Well Off, on SportsCenter, whatever sports media channels you follow, and he keeps dropping like, you can't move higher than 1. That being said, you can definitely drop lower than 1,
Yes.
and if he goes out there and shits the bed, which I'm not saying he's going to do, I'm saying that he's just like talking the talk just to like go out and ball out, but it will definitely affect how NFL teams, scouts, and organizations just think of him in general.
Definitely. No, it's a great take. Shedeur coming off a great season, about 4,000 passing yards, 35 touchdowns. I mean, he was, top 10 in the Heisman. I think he finished 8, but like, he could have definitely been on that podium with Travis. And I think the biggest thing at stake is just like, this is the last time we will see them both play together. And it's like, with Well Off, I think we see a different side of things that, you don't usually see with these quarterbacks. Like, we're really, they also both have their own podcast. So it's like, we see Shadeur's personality, and it might not come off as the most humble, but that's kind of his thing. Like he's legendary. Like he is that guy. So I think with all that, like he sees himself as being the number one quarterback. So why not act like it? Why not act like you are that guy? And I don't think he is afraid of the moment. I mean, this is what he's like born to do. This is what he trains for all the time, and like this is the moment. So I don't think he's going to be shy away from the bright lights. And just because he's acting like all that talk and all that tough, I mean, I think this is where he shines the brightest. But you're not wrong. Like he can definitely fall, and it will be interesting, like looking later in the season where these NFL teams end up being in the draft order. We saw the Raiders actually ended up winning this past week, so they dropped a bit. But that's for another time. I mean, job is not finished, and just focusing on this game.
I want to ask you a quick
Yeah.
question. You don't think it's possible? You said this is the last time we're going to see Shedeur and Travis play together. You don't think at all in no universe that a team would trade up for that like 1 and 2, kind of like we saw CJ Stroud and Will Anderson go together to the Texans 2 years ago? Do you think that's a possibility?
Well, I mean, if there's a team that needs it, you got to say the Giants, right? So I guess it
Right.
just depends on how ballsy their GM is. I mean, I think that would be awesome, and they would automatically get a load of new fans coming to their team from Colorado side of things. And I mean, I would love to see them playing together because their chemistry is unmatched, and you don't like we haven't really seen a duo like this. And I mean, as long as I've been alive in college football, it's like you never really see, the coach Deion Sanders, his kid Shedeur, like sitting right there, like right next to Travis's family. Like it's literally family at this point. Like Travis literally like moved into Deion's house. So it's like they are actually brothers, maybe not blood, but it's like these past couple of years, coming from Jackson State. I mean, Travis was the number one recruit in his class, and he like came along with the journey to go to an HBCU, which is like unheard of. So I just think like this game, I just there's no way we lose, right? Like there's no way. So I know both of us have put in some money on it. I mean, obviously we could lose. I'm not crazy, but it's just like this is the last game of the script, right? And like there has just been so much going on with these past couple of years of us covering this team, where it's just like this is wrapping it all up. Obviously, we wish it could have been a college football playoff game, which we were right there, and it's like the future is looking bright. But for now, I think this game is just gonna keep propelling their draft stock and just put a legacy stamp on what Colorado was able to do to end the season and be a double-digit win team.
Yeah, I think I'm not too upset about it because what a hell of a season we've had. What a hell of a turnaround this program has had in general. And when we're sitting at that 1 seed next year, and let's hope everything goes well and you're in LA, we'll be right there at the Rose Bowl,
That's a Rose Bowl.
watching it. So but yeah, I mean, it's like everything you just said and things I've said during the podcast, especially with the Travis Hunter news. I think that dude is just going to feast, man. And it's just the way the story, you know what I mean? The narrative, excuse me. The reason why Josh Allen is going to win MVP over Lamar is similar to why I believe the Buffs are just going to win this bowl game. It just makes sense in your heart, in my brain, like everything is just clicking. Like I just think we are on a way bigger high than BYU is. It's kind of like we're elevating right as they're starting to drop, and they've had a great season. And I also think, I mean, we could go into the analytics, but I don't want to be that boring of a guy. But Red Slaw is just not that great against the type of cover, the type of man Colorado plays. It's all in the stats. Maybe Dean and I will drop a couple links to where you guys can find more information about that in the description. But I just think Shedeur and Travis, man, legacy game. It's the last time you get to say that. And I know we say that more frequently than not, but are we wrong? Like these guys have just been balling out, and that's why they're going 1 and 2 respectfully in the draft. Hopefully to the Niners, let's get some Trey Lance stuff going. Trade 3 first rounders. I would happily trade 3 first rounders for one of those guys. But my final score prediction, I got Colorado winning this game 28-21. I think it's going to be closer than people think. I think this BYU defense is super solid, and the offense is very good as well. But I think it's going to be a healthy win. I think maybe BYU gets that last touchdown later in the game than we think.
Yeah, I think no, it's a great like I think it's gonna be a close game, right? I think it's gonna go back and forth. I mean, both teams are pretty balanced, per se. I guess when Colorado is at its best, we can run the ball a little bit, and hopefully Pat Shermer can scheme up something right because we've had a couple weeks now, and with the bye week, and like I think we're coming to the into this game cooking. I got Colorado as well. I mean, no bias there. I just think we are the better team, and just with everything going on, like this is the way to end it. I'm gonna go 31 to 28 actually.
There you
Um
go. I like it. I like it. Where are you watching the game?
yeah, I'll probably just local sports bar. I mean, I don't really
Nice.
have too many Buffs fans out here, but like it's going to be a great bowl day. Maybe get some golf in before the game and just have an ideal type of Saturday because I
Sure.
cannot wait. Hopefully get some content out, get some live reaction, some clips. I want to talk a little bit about before we wrap this up. I
Yeah.
mean, I want to talk about just like breakout player of the game and just like who you are expecting from the Colorado side of things to stand out. I mean, it could be Shedeur, it could be Travis. I kind of wanted to go someone who has been a little quiet this year, actually, and he's coming off a couple injuries. My man Jimmy Horn, he is graduating as well. This is his last game with the Buffs. I mean, he was a huge key piece for us last year, probably being that number 2 guy right behind Travis. And I mean, obviously with LeJohntay and Will Sheppard kind of coming in and having great seasons of their own, he's been a little bit overshadowed after that North Dakota State game, that first game of the season where he went for like 200 yards. So Jimmy is back and full healthy. I think, Coach Prime and Shedeur, like they're definitely the types of bros to maybe even force feed Jimmy if they have to. And like, I don't even see that as a bad thing. I mean, right. We've been talking about it. It's our last game, them playing together. So I think someone like Jimmy who, can definitely has the potential of like getting in the league. I mean, he can be at that combine and he could have like a top 540 in the whole, in the whole group. I mean, that bro is speedy. So I think we are going to just try and get our guys to shine. Maybe the seniors, last time playing together, someone like a BJ Green, I think he's going to have a day. I think, like they're just going to let him get to the quarterback if like, call as many sacks, blitzes as we can. And I really think our coaches are going to somewhat try and force feed the seniors to kind of, keep up in their draft stock because that is mainly what this type of bowl game is. Like we are on a different, stage than most other teams who couldn't have got to this point. So, everyone's going to be watching and why not let our seniors shine?
Yeah, I think I love that take because it's just Jimmy is so versatile. You know what I mean? You throw a little screen pass play for him or LeJohntay, just let him rip. Those guys are speed demons. But I honestly think that boy Travis, I
Yeah.
all things considered, he's going to maybe unintentionally feast as hard as he is. Like he's just like, man, he's just one of those guys I feel, and we're about to find out, you know what I mean, with all the criticism and recent news about him and his fiance coming out. Like, I feel like he is just that guy where like the world shits on him and he just shits it all back on the world. Like
Sit
he is
down.
going to go crazy. Mr. Heisman, he's got a lot to prove too, Genty has got a game of his own. He's probably going to go crazy. I'm sure Travis is going to want to shut up all the haters for the last game too. So it's definitely going to be a great game, but not really my sleeper, but player of the game for sure. Travis Hunter, Mr.
Yeah.
Hunter.
I know. It's like when we got the Heisman on our team, it's kind of hard not to pick him every
Right.
single week because I would say he's literally done everything possible. I mean, 15 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, a rushing touchdown. I guess the one thing he's missed out on so far is that pick 6. So maybe the final way to end the script,
Here we go, dude.
we win the game on a Travis Hunter pick 6. How
Yes.
incredible would that be? That would break the internet for the 100th time from this Colorado team, but that would be amazing. I think it's going to be some storybook ending like that, dude. Like, how the Baylor game, I mean, with Trav, that was his Heisman moment, getting that fumble right there on the goal
Oh
line.
my
Like,
gosh.
I'm just
Yeah.
expecting something like that. Let's shut up all those haters and doubters for once and for all, man. I'm so sick of people just, talking endlessly bad about whether it's Shedeur not being good enough or Travis, he shouldn't have won. It's like, come on, we are witnessing greatness. And I'm at the point where it's like, this is the last time we are seeing the boys play. Just let them ball. And I'm going to just try and sit back and watch it because what a time it's been. I mean, they pretty much made our college experience. Like, imagine Coach Prime never came to Boulder. Like, we would not be talking right now on this podcast. No way. We would not be such as excited, like, on the couple of days before New Year's watching Colorado football in a bowl game. It's just like, it is legendary, the transformation that they've had. And I think there's no better way. Like that first game we played against TCU, beating TCU in TCU, coming off the national championship. We were all out there with 20 of the boys. Exactly. And it's just like, oh man, imagine we were all at this game. That would be awesome. But just to cap it off perfectly, like it has to be a win. It has to. And I'm like, this is why we love sports, man. So this is it. Like, this is it for the boys. For the podcast, I mean, it's been such a great time covering it, and we obviously have to get into the lab and talk some business of what we want to do going forward. Y'all comment. I mean, if you guys are still listening to this, we're 20 minutes into the pod. If you're still listening, we appreciate you. Whether on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. I mean, we've been grinding for y'all. So if you want us to keep going with this, let us know, and maybe that'll keep us going. I mean, as we're kind of graduating and getting into the real world, like this podcast is definitely something that is going to keep happening no matter what we're talking about. But we appreciate y'all, and whether you're a Buffs fan or not, I mean, it's going to be a great end to the college football playoffs, and I'm just so excited to watch college football and be a Buff fan for the rest of my life.
I love that. Two ending things. Buffs Banter fans, we love you. Like, share, subscribe, comment with everyone so Dean and I can keep making content after school, make this passion a job. And two, I'm in New York right now. I know where the Buffs in New York are going to be hanging at for the game. But, hey, don't let Dean watch this at his local sports bar. If you're in the Los Angeles area and you're a CU Boulder alumni or fan, let us know. Let us know where you're watching the game. So, Dean can make some live reactions with you guys. We can get the fans involved,
And we're only saying that because we accidentally missed out on the private PJ that that Coach Prime got for us. We just missed out on it.
We were just ran a little late. Details screwed up. Awkward.
We were in the lab, but yeah, I think this is a good way to wrap it. I mean, we'll definitely have to come out with a post game after the win, and
after the win, love it.
There will be there's no Shedeur is one for the spotlight, man. And if we've learned anything from these past couple of years, like there is going to be a big moment happening this weekend. So watch out for that. Big storylines, and all over ESPN and SportsCenter are going to be talking about Colorado football because that's what we do. We turn eyes. So I think ending the season 10-3, if we the way we looked at the start of the season, I think we actually might have said that, double-digit win season in a bowl game. But did we expect it? I don't know. Like, you never really know until it actually happens. So I think the Buffs, man, they blew our expectations. I love watching this team. It's been awesome seeing all the behind the scenes too with Well Off Media and all that. So shout out y'all, and Sco Buffs. We will get back to y'all after the game.
Sco Buffs. Cam Ward, you about to stop talking, boy. We coming for double digits right now.